know you want to tell me. Have you killed anyone with that gun in the last week or two?
I don't want to tell you anything, you grotesque murderer.
And why did you think that was a good idea? Don't listen to me. I'm wrong all the time.
Did you use that gun to shoot and kill the colonel of the security force contractor, Crano?
The who now?
He heard you. He just wants to hear you say it again. This is dramatic flair on his part. Right choice. We're in. Do it, sire.
The fascist death squad who took a bullet in the mouth on the night of March 4th.
Oh yes, that one. Ugly piece of work, that boy.
Did you kill him? Fucking tell this cop.
I am a son of a welder and an officer of the commune of Revachol. I do not collaborate with murderers and pederasts of the liberal regime.
But you're a murderer too.
Exhaust him with proof. Pile it all on him. Get a confession. The gun. The murder weapon is the perfect opener. The scent of blood in the air. But what else? There was something you can't remember. Something about the tracks. Suddenly, all those tracks are so confusing. Go with something else first.
We've done the ballistics. The shot came from this island.
I saw you poking around there, looking for evidence. You're damn diligent when it comes to dead fascies. Did you like the view?
He's practically admitting to it.
It's the best uninterrupted line of sight into that window in all of Martinez.
Because it's a sniper's nest, you stupid fuck. Radio Gosh is right. You have worms in your brain.
I don't need your cooperation, I got this.
Got nothing to say about that boomstick, huh? You joking? That's the stick that did it?
Yes, it's a real gun. Not like that little musketeer pistol. I've seen you prance around with that. Jumping hoops for the liberals. You look like imbeciles. Why don't you ask them to give you real weapons? Going against automatic rifles with these toy guns. Of course you got those boys killed.
Damn, he saw you.
How?
He's watched it happen. He would have a good view of the
Oh.
tribunal from here. It's not just empty boasting. So he saw you. Okay. So what? Don't let it divert you.
Stop squirming, I have the murder weapon.
You let them all die. Pranced around. Let your little friend be shot too. I didn't get a good look at that. Tell me, did he bleed out?
Shut up, I'm calling it, I have the murder weapon.
Who are you trying to prove this to, huh? Your friend? He's not here. He's dead, isn't he?
He's not dead, he's in the hospital.
The world will rejoice when he dies. One fascia less.
You piece of shit. Come on, what am I forgetting?
Wait, here it comes. The goddamn Maybells.
Oh,
the
yes.
dried Maybells on Clausia's roof. There were Maybells in the grass when you got here. They're revolutionary symbols from the war. Wait, don't forget the footprints. The diagonal prints in the dust in the secret space behind Clausia's bedroom.
Of
Now,
course.
they're gonna come up.
Thank you, Head, thank you.
You got it. Remember? The boot prints were like no modern soul. Maybe don't beat yourself anymore, though. You're not immortal.
I wonder what brand of boots you're wearing.
Everything is brands with you individualists. Who cares what brand my shoes are? Sansa? Some shit.
Show me the soles of your shoes, please.
Fucking imbecile.
The maker is called Sensory. You see their V-shaped logo, but can't make out the size. These are not the unusual horizontal patterned soles you saw in the dust on the floor of the hidden room. They do, however, seem to be about the same size.
Wait, maybe it's simpler than that.
Sire, he doesn't have to be wearing them right now.
People change shoes, it doesn't mean... Sorry, people change shoes, it doesn't mean you weren't there, near the room the victim died in. sneaking around.
Racking those brains, are you? Desperate to report something back to your masters? They must have really loved that dead fuck.
The kid gives you a quick sideways glance and nods to acknowledge. The prints were his. You can see it in those eyes. He can't keep them from flickering, looking for something. The old man stares at his own prints in the ash around the fire. Silent suddenly, some strange process within him. A gush of wind. Seagulls in the distance. You've almost got him. Just the last little push.
There were Maybells behind the victim's window.
Damn Maybells. The whole island is turning white with them. So many this year, too. The spring is coming. No, it's already here. Wash the filth away.
Haven't seen these flowers anywhere else in Martiniz, only here.
They blossom on the islets before we fertilize them with our blood. Resurrection was snow white in May before they ruined it.
South, the Bay of Martinaise is dotted with little freckles of islets, turning green, with white flowers in white snow.
The coast, too, before they piled their containers on top of it, filled with broken, useless trash for fat-fingered bourgeois children to play with.
Bet you've been sneaking around a lot. Hidden. Know any secret paths? Kuno knows paths.
I may.
A young woman called Klassia. Ring any bells? These dried flowers were behind her window.
Classier.
You know her, right? She had intimate relations. Why can't I stop the word? She had intimate relations with the victim, the mercenary.
With the victim.
There is a small tremble, looks like a smile, a crooked smile, yet isn't quite voluntary. He's about to burst.
You know who he was. A coalition-trained murderer. Armored and armed. He wasn't human. The blunt end of a hammer. Dripping with blood.
He was a rapist. I'm not saying he didn't deserve it.
Beating us to the ground. Moaning with joy. You hounds get so thorough when a company-trained killer dies. I haven't seen you on this coast for 40 years. You know?
Hey Dragoness, how you
I should
doing?
have killed one sooner. Got your attention. Now you stop eating druggies and prostitutes in your basement. Now you come to investigate. Not when they die by the hundreds.
This is it.
I mean, he's
Shot
making a
him,
good point,
shot
though.
him. Say shot him, not killed him.
So you shot him. I'm thinking, alright, thank you. Just a bit depressed playing this game for the second time in my life. Probably my favorite game of all time.
Oh, the inhumanity. One paramilitary less in Revachol.
Just not.
I had them in my sights. Both of them. Him and the whore. I was breathing with them. In phase. And I pulled the trigger and flew on the air until I landed in his mouth.
It's such a shame what happened to the studio, what is happening to the studio, I guess. I really hope they manage to get out of that shit. Because, you know, all of this is just, it will never be the same without the original creators. And it's really devastating that they made this huge, complex world. And this writing, honestly, such amazing writing.
I didn't think I had a shot like that in me anymore. I did. I saw him kneel there with his mouth full of death, and that stupid look on his face. And his dick still in her.
There, a hot flash of rage almost carries the smile away. Some dark peace.
Then what?
Nothing. I went to sleep. Next morning there were Maybells everywhere. The world was white, or what's left of it anyway. My last spring here. I knew the fascists would come to avenge their own.
Yeah, but not on you. They wouldn't take vengeance on you. Killed a bunch of innocents, you fuckhead.
And so they did.
And I really like the Hardy Boys. It's such a shame.
Fucking hell.
Boom, gotcha.
Moronic, gloating psychopath.
A motive. There's some seedy motive here. Don't you feel it?
Wait.
Get the motive.
Yeah, hush.
Of course, this is only your mesolimbic reward pathway. What does it know about police matters? Maybe you should just get high instead. This is such an unimportant moment.
Wait, no motive. Yes, seems important.
Right. Coax it out of him. He's still warm. They were fucking.
One more thing. Why were you looking at them that night?
I'm always looking.
That's it?
You always creeping on people through your scope like that?
A rifle scope has the best magnification.
And if you don't like what you see,
Click.
Pull the trigger?
Yes. Think of it as a form of critique.
Critique, yeah.
He will not stop now. These dialectical materialist types never do.
But I'm a
Exploited.
dialectical materialist type.
You got him going. Connect every little piece now. Wrap this up like a gift.
What specifically did you not like about what you saw the night of the murder?
Them. Fucking. I didn't like that.
So you were jealous?
Jealousy is a reactionary concept. I didn't like the Reaver enjoying himself. Drugged out, soothed in the arms of a young woman. I wanted him to die so he could not enjoy life anymore.
I mean, fair enough. I'm glad that guy is dead. I'm just not glad that the Hardy Boys, like a bunch of them, died.
And I wanted to see his head explode. That too. She should know better than to hold a child murderer between her thighs. I knew he'd be there for one more second, writhing. That's all it takes for the bullet to reach his head. Now that I think of it, I wasn't aiming for his mouth. I wanted his brains to spill out on her. But you can't have everything.
How long have you been watching her?
Since she came to Martinez. I saw her sneaking in the reeds early in the morning, behind the Fell building. It was dark.
Oh.
Still winter. She didn't have her skimpy outfit on then. Just a spot in the night, moving.
He probably took the stuff from the boy. My entire life I've put Pokemon on a pedestal as my favorite game since I was a kid, and for years never had anything
New follower.
Thanks so much for the follow, by the way. Never had anything been able to take its place until this game managed to overthrow Pokemon as my favorite game. Yeah, I feel like it is done a lot for a lot of people, and especially because as much as there's good art in a lot of video games, I think writing has always been a weak point in most video games. Even when it's good, it's like, you know, not really like exceptional, it's just good. And then this one comes along and it's just hard to fathom how someone has such a deep understanding of so many things and manages to write it down so well. Like, I think there's just, you know, I'm willing to give like infinite praise to this game. What was she doing there?
Hiding something in the water. She had a fag after she'd done it. I was up in the ruins there. She couldn't see me, but I could see her, smoking. She was nervous, but not scared.
And it's a funny thing because my other favorite game, which I guess is my second favorite game, is a completely different thing. It's Elden Ring. And I always liked Souls-like and stuff, but I can't honestly say that I like Elden Ring more than this, because I don't. This is such a unique and special experience. And even the games that this one has been inspired by, like Planescape Torment, they're not quite up here. This game knows what vibes and feelings it wants to go for, and it does it right. Yeah. And again, like, it does ideology right. It does like, you know, the fucking male mental illness is very right with Harry. It's very emotional, and I'm not ashamed to admit it that I have teared up a bunch even in my second playthrough just now.
And beautiful.
And beautiful.
That, too.
We got him.
The sun came up and her hair was like cobwebs. She smoked more fags and snorted a line of whatever shit she was on. Right there. She needed it just to move.
What do you think she did? Sorry, what do you think she hid there?
Her passport and tickets to Villiers. And from there to Cachet Brut.
In the free state of Semonine, hidden away at the edge of the earth, near the Pale.
This is the hidden boy she told us about. You looked into it?
After she was gone.
Did you keep the materials? When I found the submersible, it was empty.
No. Why would I do that? I didn't need tickets to Villiers.
Oh,
I put them back. If I wanted to extort someone, I'd do better.
yeah, that's the thing. Like a lot of the things he feels and thinks. There's something like, as a younger person, I have felt stuff adjacent to it. But he's like stuck in that, and it's so sad. But honestly, he's a piece of shit.
This implies that he's thought about extorting her.
And I really like the thing where you can choose to say that you're actually making it up, and then it makes it true. That if that's the option you choose, then you were actually forgetting about everything up out of shame and just trying to get away from these feelings. It's so incredibly complex. I can't imagine that someone actually managed to. I mean, I know it wasn't just one person, but that they managed to write this stuff. It's, as someone who has actually been making a game since like 2013 or so, an incredibly, infinitely more simple game. Like, it's just baffling how anyone can do this. It's amazing.
Also, a little inconsistency here. He was surprised to hear her name Clausia before. Would he not have seen it on the documents?
You saw her name on the passport, but before, when I said her name is Kasia, you didn't seem to recognize it.
It didn't say Clausia in there.
What did it say her name was in the passport?
It was something. I don't remember. It was dark that morning. I only remember her face on the photo.
Are you sure you put it back? I checked the submersible, there was nothing there.
Why would I need that trash? I'm not going to Villiers.
A strange confusion comes over him from time to time. Some kind of aberration of the nervous system.
Moving on, did you continue watching her after this?
I did. She had a face like an archipelago with those birthmarks. And a body hard and lean and bruised all over. Black and yellow. I could see she's taken a beating.
But also the skills voices, I can relate to the way of thinking like that, as if I have several voices giving me their input. Yeah, and it's just such another clever way of writing. It's kind of reminds me of a game that I didn't actually play but heard a lot about. I think it was Vampire the Masquerade, where there's a faction you can play as, and they have like discussions, like this. They just talk to inanimate objects, like have actual conversations with them. It's very clever. I love it.
I could see who she was, too. A spook. On the run. Revachal's the cloaker of capital now. All the bagmen and arms dealers end up here to do drugs and have sex like animals.
The bruises. Can you make that out in a scope?
And the bruises, you could see her bruises through the scope of a rifle.
You can't see that through a scope. It's just a blur there.
72%. Can we improve that? %. That's good enough for me.
It quickly comes to you.
The bruises on her body, any chance you've seen them through a hole in a wall?
Oh, yes. Cutting those drugs of hers into little lines with a knife. Masturbating.
Everything in him fills with impossible longing, all at once.
You made that hole?
With a clip point knife.
Ever see her through a window on a roof?
Like that too? Yes. Bending like a bow against the glass.
This old creep.